Hey, relay friends. It's Lindsey Hein here with Peter Bromka, Tommie Runz, Mike Coe, and then Matt Chittum is going to be joining us because he cannot be left out on the UTMB talk that we have to do today. Tommy was actually in Chamonix. Did I say that right?
Bonjour.
And Mike ran the Sydney Marathon. So, so
Damn.
much to talk about.
Good
I'm
day,
just going to
Mike.
do the intro and slowly kind of crawl away from the computer.
I'm so happy you're all here to discuss the Diamond League final in Zurich. This is
And
wonderful.
Diamond League final happened.
See, I said, what do we have to talk about? Mike, how are you feeling? Are you you just traveled across the world?
Yeah, I'm feeling surprisingly good. I'm waiting for kind of the other shoe to drop because I do feel so great. I even thought about going for a run today, but I was like, no, I think that's just a false goodness that I'm feeling. So I'm going to take some more time off and just relax. I have so much video work to catch up on. So I'm like, let's do that. And plus I got to jump right back into family life. My daughter has a cross country meet today that we're going to head out to. So I'm right back I'm full on fall. I left in summer. I returned in fall.
Beautiful.
Cross country question.
Yeah.
And then we gotta ask Tommy how his jet lag is doing. But do cross country teams still do team dinners the night before meets? Did you guys do that in high school? That was the biggest thing on Friday nights. You had team dinners. It rotated families' houses, and that was just as exciting as the meet.
The whole season.
Yes, the whole season, every Friday. Did you not do that?
Where did you grow up?
Is that a Midwest thing?
Yeah,
no,
probably.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, we did.
Didn't you do it?
More like districts and region and state.
Wait, okay.
No.
Raise your hand if you had that. Did you? I feel like you were agreeing, Mike. Okay.
I had it a little bit, but it wasn't it was big meets or the ones that were before weekends. Cause I don't know if it's just cause my daughter's in middle school, but she has them during the week, after school.
Okay.
And so it would be weird to do a spaghetti dinner on a Wednesday night for a Thursday afternoon.
It's for Saturday meets.
Yeah. So I think that's how I remember doing it in high school is that the big meets that were on the weekends. Those are the ones that we had spaghetti for.
I mean, yeah, it was a big thing. And remember when we had that episode when we talked about things that are a little bit culty? I'm like, I think that was a little bit culty.
Teamwork?
No, just the pasta dinners. They were just I don't know. It was a big thing. Anyway.
I mean, big pasta went hard
pasta.
At some point. The idea that it has to be that carbs are pasta dinners, I try to pry that apart in people's minds. I love pasta, but you can achieve this in multiple ways.
You can drink a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, if it's not still happening and my kids run cross country in high school, I will be the parent that brings it back.
Host.
No, you gotta rotate the hosting. You gotta rotate around. Everybody's gotta have a turn. Okay, Tommy, how are you feeling? You just got back you got to do UTMB stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I feel good. I got back on what's today? See? Oh, I don't know what day it is. That's the problem.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm just saying, in general, it takes me a little bit to figure out the day. It wasn't even that bad. It was only 6 hours difference, but it's the wrong way 6 hours where it makes it hard to figure out what's going on. So I don't even know why Mike's even here because I would have missed this whole thing by 12 hours. No, but I feel actually really good. I deprived myself of sleep the whole day of travel back here because you travel back in time, which is fun. But it was a 22-hour day, so I just didn't sleep. So I would be really, really tired. I slept crappy the night before, but then last night I got a 87 on my Oura ring. So that's really good. And now I just feel great. I've run 18 miles since I've been back. I'm back in the swing of things.
Are you shaming Mike because he chose not to run?
Yeah, he's yeah, I don't know. I'm no, man, man up. You gotta do your thing.
What was your favorite thing for the whole weekend of events?
I guess I don't know. I mean, because it's all a blur because all the events. There's 20,000 events happening all at one time at UTMB World Series weekend or week, but so a race was happening at almost at every point of the day somehow. So obviously seeing the UTMB the finals the race that was exciting, but then it was also it was just so much happening. Like, it was no favorite point. The views are amazing. Just being somewhere like that where kind of everywhere you look is like kind of awe inspired, is just incredible. So that was really cool.
How does I'm waiting for the whole thing to reach gridlock capacity. Like the number of people who descend on, I've never been there, but I've been to the region, but not to Chamonix. And I'm like, you pull up Instagram and you're like, so at what point is
Everybody.
Chamonix just going to shut it down and be like, get out of here, people?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, occasionally it just gets like crazy in one spot, but then it all disperses so fast because there's so many other things to do. There's other spots to go to. Like the people. So like, if it were me, I'm new, so I want to be at the finish line. Peter, like, since you're not a pro, person, whatever I was gonna say, whatever you are, you would be the one that'd be like, I don't go over there. I go to this point. This is the best spot. Like, so I think you have a lot of that. Like, people know where to go. Okay, it's been getting really busy last few years, so here's where we go because this is where you really get to see. And I even started doing that like towards. I knew that the final finish was going to be impossible, so like I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to this spot where I saw a few other runners the day before go through, and I'm sure it's going to be right there. And I was able to be like right there when Courtney like turned the corner. Courtney Dauwalter turned the corner to finish like off the water. So that's exciting. So it's like they do a really weird like it's oddly decent. It's never as packed. Like Boston is probably more like congested feeling than that was for me somehow.
That's what I imagine a Chicago or a Boston or a New York, but all in a chalet mountain town. And
Yeah, so it's
adds
not
up
like
to me.
that. It's not like that because the way that even like the expo's a little like it just somehow just all spreads out. And then I'm sure the restaurants love it because it's like every restaurant's packed all the time, all hours of the day. So it was really a vibe though. Like I really appreciate it. And like shout out to Adidas Terex for bringing me out there. But it was a really cool it was a cool thing. I cannot wait to go back.
Yeah, Adidas, if you want to send me with Tommie next time, I'm free to come.
I have a hot take.
Yeah.
I say this very acceptingly.
It's not so hot.
I think these athletes are doing amazing things, and for whatever reasons, their like contracts are turning over. I think like Tom Evans, who won the men's race, is a great example of it doesn't matter what brand you're with, just doesn't matter. They're like, we're operating at a level right now where so many companies are making so many good shoes. I will hand this over to Mike in a moment. Whereas like you're like, didn't he just? Oh, he's with Asics now. Interesting. I didn't know you could win UTMB in Asics, but booyah, there you go.
I just wanted to like laser in on what Tommie said about like if Peter were there, where he would be on the course. And I was like, oh yeah, Peter is definitely the cross country dad where you're on like a 3.1 mile course where like he's going to pop out of a random bush
Everywhere.
where like no other parents have found that spot. Or like if you're in a marathon and it's like mile 22 and there's like nobody around, there's Peter like standing there.
Running with you, yelling
like,
at you,
that is
saying
your
that
personality.
yeah, like in Chicago, yelling at you, saying that you know this is what you want to do.
For the record, Mike was right where I was as well. We gravitated to the same like space of concrete.
Yeah, both of you guys are cross country dads.
It makes sense to me that Mike
true.
and Peter would be like have the same
both of you
vibe
guys
in that
are
regard.
both of you guys are the same person. One just has a.
I mean, it's the beauty of our sport, right? Like when everyone's fighting a certain crowd, you're like, this race goes all over the place.
Yeah, and that they need you where you go. Yeah. Mike was just in Sydney and he ran the Sydney Marathon, which this was the first year it became like the official 7th star marathon, correct?
Yes, this was like the first official year. Yes, last year it was, I think if you went down to run like the Masters World Championships, you would retroactively get a star. Because that was like the way to draw people down there to test it out as part of its candidacy, I think. But this year was the first time it was official as a major.
And give us your read. How did it go? How did you like the race?
Sydney is an amazing running town, and I want to go to Sydney like every August now because it's winter there when it's summer here. And so like temperatures were perfect for running. Like in the mornings, it was a little bit chilly. A couple of days I wore a long sleeve and shorts. I probably could have gotten away with short sleeve and shorts most days. And then during the day, when you're like doing touristy stuff, it's sunny and warm. And then the evenings it gets a little bit brisk. And so it's just like absolutely perfect for running. I kind of want to like live there every August. And then people there love running. The running culture was strong. And so like there was a lot of runners there, not just everyone that came for the race, but Sydney runs. And then they showed up for the race too. It's a hard course, but it's scenic. It's a lot of fun. There's plenty of people to run with. And it was probably like one of the least congested races I've run in a long time, which I don't know if that'll always be the case because this was its first year as a major, but it was like from an organizational standpoint, everything ran really smoothly for me. In terms of like where I was in the race, I can't speak for kind of like the back of the pack at the weigh-in, but from where I was, it was fantastic.
I know you are a seasoned racer, but it sounded like a nightmare scenario. Watch band breaking right before the start. You posted about this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Talk us through it. How did that go for you emotionally and, split-wise?
Yeah. So I have a regular Garmin watch, but I always use like Velcro bands because I feel like that gets more snug. And plus it's really quick to just retighten. And so I maybe do that when I get nervous, I'm thinking. And I was doing that at the starting line and I was like, all right, one more tighten and then we're ready to rip. Cause it was like, at that point, like the fireballs had gone off and like the elites had left. So everyone's starting to move. So I'm walking and I do one more and I'm like, oh, that got, what was that? And then I'm like holding my watch band up in the air and I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. And I look at it and like a plastic piece had snapped off. Right. And so I'm like, well, the watch still works. So I guess what I'll do is I'll start it and then put it in my pocket. I guess I could pull it out every 5K and lap time it if I needed to. But I was like, I guess I'm just putting a watch face in my side pocket of my half tights and we're going to go. I ended up not doing that because I was like, I got gels in there. Something's going to drop if I'm constantly reaching in there for stuff. So I'll just tuck it in the pocket. And I mean, they have clocks every 5K and I was with the Pacers pace group. And so I was like, I pretty much just wanted to stay with them as long as possible anyway. And now I have even more incentive to stay with them because I won't know how fast I'm going if I leave. So I just kind of stayed with them for as long as I could, which ended up only being like 12K, 13K because I'm impatient. But like most of the people around me were kind of running around. I didn't feel like people were like zooming ahead or zooming behind me. And so I felt like I'm kind of in the right group. We're a little bit ahead of the 3:15 pacer. Everyone seems to be a little bit ahead. And there's some like some double backs, so there's times where I could be like, all right, I'm at maybe like 30 seconds, 40 seconds ahead. So I knew I'm not doing anything too crazy. But one of the things I do like to do is regardless of pace, especially on a hilly course, I like to monitor my heart rate during a marathon. And so I couldn't do that, which I don't know, maybe that's better for me if I don't, because I feel like I've run a bunch of races now and I kind of know how it should feel. And I know if I'd be honest with myself, I'm like, yeah, this is maybe the pace number that I want to see, but this is maybe a little bit harder than I want. I'm starting to get better at picking up on that. And so I feel like this was not the way I wanted to learn the lesson, but I learned a lesson about how to race.
What did you run? What was your time?
3:13:35.
Oh, that's good.
I was thinking I was in about anywhere. If it was a flat fast course, I was thinking I'm in about 3:10 shape. And so adding 3:35, 4 minutes for a hilly course, I felt like is about the right conversion. So I ran about where I thought my fitness was.
That's great. Tell us your expo experience because it sounds like you had an experience.
So I feel like majors expos are getting wild. People are freaking out over the official race merchandise.
Oh,
most of the time it's not even that good, but people want the official jacket, the official shirt, the hat, whatever. And it's like kind of like everyone wants to go home and show off the merch they got, right, at the run club. And so it becomes a big thing. And a lot of it you can't find online or it won't be available later. So like if you want to get it, you got to get it before it runs out. And I think ever since like Tokyo after the pandemic, like sometimes expos have been running out of stuff in a lot of the more common sizes too. So there's a frenzy. It's like Black Friday to get to the expo early and get the sizes that you want. And since then, I used to always try to go like first day, first thing. Now I give it an afternoon, if not a full day, to let the people that are really into the merch do their thing. And then like normal people can go the next day. Not that you're abnormal if you're into that, but it's not for me. And I'm trying to stay out of the way.
Calling you abnormal.
I'm just trying to stay out of your way. Let you do your thing. I love that you guys are into it. I'm just trying to, I'm very susceptible whenever there's like that kind of frenetic energy. And it makes me really uncomfortable.
It's overwhelming.
I didn't realize until Tokyo last year that there is like this. What's wrong, Lindsay?
Can't even get into it. You keep talking. You don't want to know what I'm side texting about.
Oh,
And so I'm like, oh no, like I think that I must sound like crap.
No, it's not you.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, ever since Tokyo last year, like I didn't realize that like resellers had come into the market like that. Like, because people were grabbing Tokyo sold out of merch within in the first day, and but that's because like they didn't have a limit. Like people were buying like 6, 7, 8, this and that, like spending a bunch of money and then bringing it back home and either selling it or giving it to other people, whatever they were doing. But I didn't realize that was a thing, and it seems like, I mean, I know it's a free world or whatever, kind of, sort of, but but it just seems like rude. Like just get one shirt, two or whatever. I get it, but it just seems really like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like running to me.
Tommie, did you put like white strips in, or like do you have a mint in your mouth, or do you have a different like microphone?
Yeah,
Something sounds weird with your audio.
Well, it's on my phone. We're on my phone now.
Okay.
Is it terrible?
You just
Different.
sound different. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. But I think it's just a different mic.
I thought he
it's
had
just
like
different.
an Invisalign in or
It's
something.
not as soulful. It's not as deep.
Maybe it's an iPhone color correct.
Yeah.
It's making his teeth extra white.
Extra white.
Yeah, look at that.
Also,
It's more of like the how his voice was. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, okay, cool.
now I'm gonna be paranoid the rest of the episode.
No.
So go ahead, Lindsay.
Mike, I thought that with the rise of all these brands making custom, Sydney Marathon stuff or Boston Marathon stuff, like I think a couple years ago I thought there'd be less of a hype around just the official and more about these, but it sounds like both can be true, or I don't know. What was it like down there?
I think that both are true. And so like I think that there is kind of like I think they're maybe like the super fans of like World Marathon Majors. I would say like they're the core of customers that like want everything that is official at anything, And so like they want the official merch. They want to go to the Abbott Majors. They only go to the Abbott Majors and things like that. At the same time, I think that there's other people that like to travel and race that want like different kinds of souvenirs that are maybe like, well, I have the finisher shirt that they gave as part of the swag bag, and I want to go get like a running shirt from like the local, their version of Fleet Feet in that country, and everything in between. And so like I saw a lot of Sydney singlets from either run clubs or from local like retailers that I thought looked amazing. And I was like, I wouldn't even know where to get that. But that's why I love it, because it's cool and it was like a local Sydney company. And I was like, that's cool. And I wish I could have found somewhere where I could have bought that because I would rather run in that than like the official race merch, which was fine. But, like, I don't know. I think maybe we're in this conversation here of the age where like the official stuff is lame and you want the bootleg stuff, and so that I think that could be it too.
That's what you're making me realize.
How old we are?
We should. Oh, so both how old we are, how much
long
gear
we've
we
been
have.
doing this?
Oh, I'm not wearing my 1983 San Francisco marathon T-shirt that I acquired at a thrift shop a couple weeks ago. I was so excited.
Ooh, I want that
should be a
shirt.
good find.
There should.
Yeah.
Maybe this happens somewhere. If you're listening to this and it does, let me know. There should be like, you travel to a big race like this where people come from around the world and you just bring more of like I would bring some old Eugene Marathon shirts that like are like, sure. I mean, there's no shortage of those things in Oregon, right? But if you're from somewhere else in the world, maybe you have a Sydney shirt and I'm like, we could do some swapping. Like we could do some trading.
Do you keep your race shirts?
They're somewhere.
Okay.
I hide them from my
What about
wife
a
in a bin
Boston?
that she doesn't know about because she's like, you gotta get rid of this thing.
No Boston.
No Boston.
I have
I
the
think I have
jackets,
one
but I
left.
refuse. I refuse to wear my Boston jacket.
What about medals? I don't keep any of my medals either.
I got mine.
Hmm.
I have a handful of the medals. I don't have all of them.
I don't think I have any of mine. I go in these phases where I just get rid of everything
Wait,
in my house.
you got rid of your official Boston Marathon shirt? You just
Yeah, I have
chuck
one
it?
left. I have one left. Because I kept one for sentimental reasons, but I just like
Mm.
go on a tear and just get
Yeah.
rid of everything.
I'm watching Peter's anger meter go up right now. It's slowly rising. He said,
The only thing that I've seen that's similar to that is, and people made fun of me for getting into this, but at the Olympics, people trade pins or dorks trade pins.
No,
but I
you
was
are not a
super
dork.
into it.
We're all
And me
into
and
it.
Robbie from Believe in the Run we spent an afternoon going to a place that like, there was like the official like Olympics kind of like handbook or, like the program. And they're saying like, go to this park. That's where people are trading pins. So we went and we traded pins and you can buy pins. And the people had binders and binders and binders full of like pins and they're collectors and resellers and stuff like that. But like there's people that are there that collect. And they're like,
Sick.
yeah, I got this when I was in Seoul in '88, or I got this when I was in like Sochi. And I'm like, that's super cool. And so like I was super into it. And it was that same concept of like, you could have those very like location and event specific items.
Bringing
that you
people
could
together
trade.
and like trading stories. Simone Biles trades pins, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So like you're not uncool. You're in
a
good
lot
company.
of the athletes all get like a pin pack so that they could trade with other athletes. And so one of my favorite ones that I was able to get was one from Team Ireland because it's just a 4-leaf clover. And so I think that's like a 4-leaf clover Olympic pin. So I thought that was like super cool. And that was one of my more exciting ones that I picked up to nerd
Tommie,
out on pins
this
for a
is
little bit.
up your alley. I think some of the athletes like Simone and others make their own pin. Like they're like, I mean, I'm going to roll in with a piece of memorabilia. I could see a Tommie Runz pin. I mean, I could see a Kofuzi pin 1,000%, but I mean,
oh yeah, yeah. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need you to tell him that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Peter. I could definitely have a pin.
Because you'd just be like, hey, you want one of these? And I'll be like, yeah, that's sick. I'm going to put it on this
Clayton
thing.
Young has a pin, and Peter, if you want to trade for it, I'll trade you for it.
Oh, I'm going to have to come up with something good. Wait, what's on this pin?
So ASICS made a bunch of them for their athletes, and for Clayton Young, since he was wearing those sunglasses during the trials, his are a pair of sunglasses that have ASICS logos in the frames.
Oh.
But that pin is like by itself doesn't look like a Clayton Young pin, but the backer for it has a Clayton Young head on it. So the pin is the sunglasses on the back, the card backer for the pin.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'll have to look and see if I still have one that's still on a card.
So the glasses fit on his face.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wait, speaking of Clayton Young, Mike, I've been wanting to ask you this. He's been recording some of his race footage with the Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses. Have you, is this something you're going to incorporate into your recording repertoire?
I mean, I'll say that I was doing it first, but not that it's a big deal. But I do have the Meta Ray-Bans. I've been using them for a while.
Okay,
the
maybe
footage, at least he may have. I think he has
your...
a generation after mine because mine the footage is not great.
That makes sense.
I use it in very limited ways. One is because there's a microphone in it, so if I don't want to mic myself up, I'll just hit record and record a video just to use the audio because the audio is really nice. But other times is when I would need to be hands free, and so a lot of times if I'm doing a shakeout run and I'm taking a bunch of selfies later, I'll just turn on the camera for a little bit, and so you get to see my POV when I'm taking a bunch of selfies with people.
I mean, I could imagine it's hard to make content with those that you do a really good job with the GoPro. So it's like you're inherently, whereas he's not going to run with a GoPro on those races. So it's all or nothing.
I went on a hike in Chamonix and I used for all the content of it. I haven't dropped the reel yet, but all the content came from the glasses.
Cool.
So like I said something in the mirror and then got on the, like the whole thing, no content from my phone. I should drop that like ASAP. But I thought that was fun. I think it's kind of fun because like people get into it too. Like they realize you're recording your glasses, and it's like a thing. Eventually, it'll just be super normal, and like no one will care. But for now, so I think I have like the last version right before Meta dropped what is it, Oakley? I want
The
to say,
Oakley ones have better resolution
do they?
and a little bit longer recording time. I've been thinking about getting them, but I don't want the white sunglasses if they make them in
No, they have
another
other
color, which
colors.
they
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
I don't know if they're available yet. They weren't in Australia when I was looking it up again.
Well, yeah,
but yeah.
World Traveler. You were on
Oh
a
wait,
different. Yeah.
I have one more Clayton Young story I wanted to tell you guys. So we didn't even talk about it. We announced Road to the Trials, a new podcast series where we're going to interview all sorts of qualifiers. And as part of it, we reached out to some pros because 22 professionals are already given entry into the 28 trials because of having run for the U.S. in 2016, 2020, 2024. Jared Ward got back to us. He's an awesome guy. And I mean, him being a wonderful person and a stand-up individual is sort of like core to his brand, right? So I kind of like give him a little bit of a hard time. So I'm like, hey man, we're talking about how he finished 6th at the Olympics, and I'm thinking like, what would Jared Ward probably not do? Jared Ward probably doesn't talk a lot of shit to his friends and his competitors. So I'm like, wait, your current teammates, Clayton Young, Connor Mance, they did run really well at Paris, but they finished 7th and 8th. I'm like, do you ever at practice be like, want a tip on how to finish 6th? And you could just see him like squirm. Like it's like,
He's like, no, I'm always here.
yeah, like I would never do. But he did say that Clayton afterwards, when he was in that sort of post-race glow, was like, man, big respect to having finished so high at the Olympics, because Clayton had just attempted to do it, and being 8th, I guess you can appreciate how hard 6 is. It's a little bit similar, but I like thinking of those guys like. I'm like, maybe you're super kind, but underneath it, you're talking trash just silently. No,
Yeah,
I doubt it.
Talking trash in his head. I wonder what the time was for his 6th place.
Yeah.
And then like what that would look like in 2024.
I mean, it was there was only a few people famously running in super shoes in that race.
Yeah.
And then it was super hot it's hot everywhere. That's what, ideally you set aside the times, because it's just racing. Paris had that crazy hill.
It is just racing. Yeah, they are just racing. They're not like they're not time trialing.
Wait, speaking of racing, I want to know how you all feel. I'm learning. Tommie manifested that Eliud Kipchoge is now like a run influencer who just participates in the middle of the pack. And then I was watching the race being like, damn you, Tommie. Damn you.
I mean, what? No, I didn't say that. I don't know where that came from.
We have it on relay. We can go back a couple episodes.
I think Marcus was trying to make it seem like he was supposed to retire.
Yes.
Or like just hang it up. And I was like, he should be able to run as long as he wants to.
Yes. Okay. Fair.
Like it just depends. Like he has to decide whether he's okay with not winning, and how he's going to handle that. And from what I didn't watch the race, but from what I saw, like it seemed like he handled it really gracefully. He didn't like quit the race just because he wasn't winning. You know what I mean? Like he finished
another
out.
Individual who, if he's part of his brand is being kind and being.
No, I mean, but he could have like just dropped because of whatever,
Sure.
But like he finished the race, and I feel like he at some point you're just doing it for yourself and then for the people watching, and if he could play that role, that card or that role for like as long as he wants to.
Man, it makes me feel so old, like at a
old?
cellular level. Watching him get pulled away from is like, oh wait, maybe I can't do what I used to be able to do, which I know to be true, but like that's EK out there.
You know what I want? You know what I want really, really bad? I want that moment or that race to be like remade in anime form, so we could hear him like out loud, like talking to himself.
Yeah.
They're pulling away from me. How is this happening?
I mean, I saw him on the course at like 35K or something like that. I want to say, because of the way that the course doubles back on itself. And he was at I think the big final move hadn't been made yet, but like he was still in the lead pack with everyone else.
35K?
I don't know. I don't know.
Somewhere in
I
there.
was somewhere on the course because the way it doubles back, there's kind of two different places I could have seen someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe it could have been earlier than that, but I think it would have been after Centennial Park for him. But he was still in the it was like a lead pack of like 15 people, and he was in the pack up towards the front. And people were like, as we're racing, people would pull off to the side to get into the median. There was a big fence there, but they would stopped, got their phones out, filmed him go by, and then got back and started racing. And people were super excited to see him in Australia.
Yeah.
Like the local news, like if they talked about two people, one was Sifan Hassan, the other was Kipchoge. Those are like the only people that like the local news would really talk about, that and the Australians. But like if it was only two, he was one of the two. So they were super stoked to have him, especially since it was the first time that it was a major. Like he was doing everything in terms of like being everywhere. It was almost kind of like, they were just showing him around like he was a foreign dignitary. Like they're like, here's a koala, here's a kangaroo, here's a boomerang. Like they would just show him stuff that's Australian, and they just took him they put him on a boat. They put him in it, like
he's good at this.
He was everywhere, doing a lot of stuff, and I feel like it was a lot of goodwill for running and bringing a major to a new continent.
I was happy to see. It made so much sense to have him there. Like he kind of worked in his racing schedule. I thought we were gonna get him in New York City, still at the peak of his power. So I'm still going through a mourning process of like, not that he couldn't. I don't know what his training looks like. We never really know. Like maybe there's more there. But this means like next year would be like the first. He's not going to bounce back from August to November. But like he's a great dignitary. And to your point, he's got a lot to bring to the sport, even if he's not at the front of the race.
Yeah, and I feel like
at the very end.
I don't know. Is Bekele even technically retired yet? Because like he's everywhere too, and
true.
I guess people are like, oh, is he still here? A lot of the time, like kind of the running joke is like, well, he's certainly signed up to be there, but he might be injured later, But if Bekele could do that, why not Kipchoge? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's great for the sport. People are excited to like see him out in their local parks doing a shakeout run on a Thursday, So like, it just feels like it's great.
Thank you. That's actually what I meant to. He does these runs. What is it? These videos are surfacing in very natural ways. They're like, the algorithm is surfacing like someone I don't follow being like, oh my Lord, this is Elliot like running up. And I think he's running, I'm guessing like 8 or 9 minute pace. Like he seems to be going at a pace where the masses start to really file in and they're going with him. And he's like, and it's not that he said like, I'll be doing a brand shakeout. He's like, no, I'm running on where all the runners run. Because you saw that one like 6 months ago when it's pitch black and this man like freaks out.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like the guy was kind of filming his shakeout run with some friends, and then here comes the train of, NN men, and you're like, but they're not running that fast because like all runners of all ages and shapes and sizes are like clearly running along with him, which is awesome. That's the
he worked really hard.
Don't give him a sympathetic like.
No, he worked really hard to be to do that. Like he worked really like, and then he like carried the mantle of like the face of, marathoning and like human potential for like a long time, and he did it gracefully, and so he should be able to like stay tapped in. And like I don't know if Bekele like had the opportunity to really do that because of Kipchoge. I think if there was no Kipchoge, I think Bekele would be this person for us. But like Kipchoge really filed into like all the Nike, messaging, and he just did it so well. And then he was also performing at a high level. He took some chances and ran breaking 2, and then he did NEOS and he did break 2, and like so now I'm like, that's why I was like, everybody's like, oh, he's he just ran like, what do you get, like whatever place he just finished in. It's like almost like, who cares at this point? Because what is he supposed to just not love running anymore? Like that wouldn't be on brand if he just was like, okay, I'm not good anymore, so I'm out. But he's still he's still like what he finished 2:08 and some change, and the winner was only like 2:06. Like it's not like we're watching someone that's like broken try to like muster up. Like Michele's a little more broken, I think, like from a body standpoint. And so I just feel like he should be able to run as often and as long as you'd like to, and hopefully compete at the next Olympics, and just be, like just be that guy for a while. Because I don't think we're not going to see anyone take that position for a long time.
He seems like ready to
Yeah, I
ride.
don't think
Yeah.
anybody's gonna like file in as like the new, like when Jordan left. It was like how long did it take to like have
Yeah,
that? And I guess
someone.
we had Kobe, but and that was kind of right after. Yeah, so
Right after?
Oh, wait a second.
yeah, it's kind of right
Now
after.
that I say it out loud,
But no, I mean, but we maybe Calvin Kipton
It
would have
could have
been,
been. It
Yeah.
would.
would
I
have
mean,
been
it could have been
Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's nobody else there that's close to that. I don't think.
I mean, John Career's running pretty well right now, so we'll have to see
Yeah.
how he does in Chicago.
And wait, how many marathon? Wait, is that his first? Wait, no, John.
I
Never
mean,
mind. John just won Boston.
and then
Okay.
there's this. Elliot is, he's filled his mind with very stoic, poetic. He's
Yeah.
he's a student of sort of philosophical writing and
Yes.
thinking, so it lends itself well to quotes and things that you're like, oh yeah, let me think about that.
Yeah, the running world
so.
is a beautiful world. Yeah. But hey, he could also jump into UTMB. I feel like. Hold on. I know. Okay, I know.
No,
Like,
I don't know if
I
he
think,
will, because after his race, they interviewed him and they tried to like kind of like get into a little bit of that in some of the post-race interviews that I saw. And his big quote is like, "I don't have anything left to prove to anyone. I'm running out there because I like running." I don't know if
Okay,
that's the exact quote, but basically he's
Nice.
like, "I don't got anything
Basically
left to
good.
prove."
Yeah.
You know?
Interpreted by a Chicagoan. He said, "I don't give a f. I'm not having fun."
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, he dropped an F right in Australian media.
Right. We dropped the Vegemite or something.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, like I think I cut out earlier, but UTMB, bro. Like I just said like my last little thoughts on that whole situation. Those people, like if you're listening to this and like you did UTMB or have done it or any like the OCC or the CCC or the FDL, the TBR, the TBD, I don't
WTF.
know. Yeah, the WTF. There's one race that's literally, it might as well be called the WTF because it's like 95, 96 miles and it's almost the same elevation as the main race. And they say it's harder because it's not on the same path and it's like a little more off the beaten path, so it's harder than the big race. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But anyway, so like the whole UTMB thought was like, so I watched the start at like maybe 2K. Like, so like you said, like the gridlock is just too much in the starts. So we went down like to 2K mark and we just kind of standing around. It was projected to rain, like tough, like terrible rain overnight and cold. So they had to like pack extra stuff. It was like mandatory that they had certain things in their packs and all that. But you're watching these people go off like, but it's like 2,600 something of them. Like 1/3 of the people that started this race did like DNF. So it was like, it was a brutal race. But like you're watching all these people go by and like it was almost overwhelming. Like I'm an emotional person in general, but like I can like easily be like see the inspiration in like certain things and like that was one of them where it's like you guys are literally knowingly going off to like war. Like there's like 32,000 plus feet of elevation gain in 100 miles. And the terrain this is not like your Midwest trail. Like this is insane elevation and dangerous spots and it's end up snowing overnight a little bit. Like I was watching like Andy Glaze, I think one of his videos, and it was like snow going like it was just ridiculous. And I don't want to have no desire to do UTMB anytime soon. But I
Famous
just like
last words. Okay, I'm gonna
hats
bookmark
off to
this
like
somewhere.
all these people. Hats off to all these people that went out there and like did that. And like the cutoff is 46 hours. Like, and I just couldn't imagine. Like, there's people learn new things about themselves like tenfold out there. It's just incredible what people can do.
I mean, I know there are more and more races that last quite a few hours, but
Right.
following some people who finished at around 45 hours at UTMB really broke my brain in a different way because of
Yeah.
like, not to make light of a backyard ultra. I've never done one, but 48 hours going around the same 4-mile loop, you're like, you're
Nah.
safe. You can go get in the car. Whereas you're going through 3 countries. And I know everyone who does UTMB goes through those 3 countries, but I follow Carolina Carustal on Instagram, Rubio McWright, and she finished in 45:15. And so you're like, okay, so for 45 hours, she had to be navigating everything you just described.
Yeah.
And maybe taking some dirt naps, maybe taking some meditation naps, but that would really, it feels like it would, your brain, you know how an old computer used to be like, we're going to sort the RAM back. It would like optimize again. It would like take files. And I think your brain would be so scattered after that. You'd have to like lay down and have it reorient. You have
Yeah, like
memories you don't
just
even remember.
no, yeah, no, I mean, it just seems scary too. Like, it just seems scary. Like running 100 miles period is insane. But then just to throw in the middle of it, like these peaks that are, I mean, these are real like mountains in
Yeah.
the craziest way. It's just incredible. Like hats off to everybody who did all of the races. Cause even like the OCC, which is like, I think it's like a 50K or something like that. That's still insane. Like it's just insane. All of it's insane.
I do think that there's a real risk. I've talked about this with friends who do it, like as road runners move to trail, there's sometimes an assumed like safety, like, well, this is a massive participation event, it's verified, and you're like, no, this is the outdoors, and these are cliffs, and people fall and hurt themselves. Not every year, thankfully, but
Yeah.
you could definitely be like, oh, it'll be fine, and you're like, no, you got to watch your your step. It's definitely cannot be fine.
Yeah, it's just I mean, yeah, even like some of the shakeout runs or like group runs that I did, like you'd look over to your right, and me the most beautiful view that ever see, but like take 2 steps that direction and that'd be the last view you ever see.
Yeah.
It's like it's really I mean, it's really incredible. Like just nature's insane, but then the fact that we're like out there doing it and running through it is just crazy. So yeah, shout out to everybody that did all that this week in France.
It definitely puts in that perspective, like, it's easy to be like, whoa, I can't believe the winner broke 20 hours. And then you're
Yeah.
like, but am I more impressed than the person who took 45 hours? Like,
It's
it's a
it's
different
it's
skill.
oddly
But
it's oddly like both. It's like wow, that's incredible, but wow, that's incredible too. Like it's
wait, so
different,
which
man.
one? Okay, if UTMB, you're sandbagging us. You're saying it's not. Which one do you want to go back for? Because I feel like,
I
you
mean,
know,
honestly, no. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know because there's no way that like somebody like me, like Mike, like I don't know what like Chicago's. You guys probably
pretty
have
flat.
more trails than we do. Like, I mean, even in like the areas around, no, like
I mean,
trails,
about by where I am, there's some pretty good trails, but
but like,
nothing that would really prepare you for
yeah,
that.
there's like the most we could do is like stair climber, but you can't go down.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
the
mean,
like,
basically, like if I were to train for something like that, I'd be like, well, there's those couple of hills. I guess I'll just run them for 2 hours straight. Like
Yeah,
just
like
up and down and up and down. That's all the best you could do.
or like stay like you'd have to just find actual stairs and then just go up and down them.
Yeah,
Like, like a big building where they just
yeah,
let you kinda, like, run up and down
sure,
the stairs, but, like, there's just no way and then there's this whole other thing of, like, trail vision and stuff like that they talk about, where, like, you just understand and you just eventually know and understand, like, where to put your feet and how light to step. Like, you saw that video, like, Jim Walmsley, like, almost rolling his ankle.
yeah,
Any other person would have snapped their foot off.
yeah,
But, like, there's, like, this knowledge, or, like, that you just know, like, you know when something's happening, and you just know to get out of that
and you're
area.
like,
But it would've been me, I'd be there on the mountain still.
yeah. Just duck and roll, I guess.
Yeah, and then I'd duck and roll into a rock off the
Yeah,
cliff.
yeah.
But, yeah, no, I don't wanna, drag it out, but it really is an insane thing, just a wild concept, and, I was like I came back inspired, like, just to, like, just not necessarily for that, but just in general, like, it was really
yeah,
cool.
See, I was the opposite way when I went to UTMB. I was like, yeah, I'm going down this path of trail running. If this is the end of the path, I don't think this is for me. Because I was like, even if you finish UTMB, there people might be out there like, yeah, but did you do the Tour de Sup? So there's always, it's like, oh, you did 100 mile. There's 250s, and I'm like, no, this is a game that I can't play. There was always a one up, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna do. I don't know about these long trail races for me anymore. Maybe I'll do some trail halves.
I think that my TSP thing oddly like sets me up in a weird spot, because it's like I've done the long distance. I mean, it wasn't like it was kind of continuous, but I mean, I definitely like slept or whatever. But even when when I'm talking to people that like at the Race to Pros, like, I was like, somebody says, well, he did, whatever. And I'm like, no, that's different. And they're like, well, even like them running it, like they're like, no, 340 is crazy, So I'm like in this weird, like trying to, I don't want to do Coca-Cola 250.
No.
Like, please guys, stop me from, if I ever like say that, just say something
Come and
else.
steal your shoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on Run Sign Up later today and sign up Tommie Runz for the next Coca-Cola.
Sign you up.
I know it's already full or what. It's not that easy, but
good,
I'm gonna find a 200-mile race that has an entry left and just put
it
Tommie
really
Runz
does,
in there.
Because like the track events, sprints, we call them middle distance, and then we still kind of glob them together, but then these other events, they can pretty quickly hop, skip, and a jump be like so different. You're like, that's mountaineering, but they're running ish. I mean, there's different people. Instagram will serve me like, this guy is a trail runner, and then you're like, he's rock climbing with a GoPro on his, like, that looks exceedingly dangerous. We need a different name for what he's doing, and they're like, well,
there's a thing called like the TLD or something else, PT, I don't know, but it's like a partner thing. It is PLD or something like that. And they run, it's a partner thing. Like, it's two people have to run together. You have to be together the whole time. And they leave on Monday, and they're like finishing on like Friday, Saturday. And they have to, and they are literally mountaineering. Like, they have to have helmets with them and ropes. And I mean, it's not running. It's like running, walking, and like literally climbing mountains, which just seems, and I don't know, man, people are absolutely nuts.
It's wild. All right. Thanks, friends. We didn't even talk about track. This was a beautiful episode of all different distances. The Diamond League final, if you have some thoughts on it, please leave them in the comments, because that's not what we're here for, but because we're saving all of our enthusiasm for the World Championships coming up pretty soon. Awesome, friends. Thanks so much.
Peace.